Hi everybody, I hope that you're all doing really well. So this is a little bit of an impromptu video because I am here to announce a read-along that is going on in a few weeks. So I've always said that I'm not really a big author girl. I never tend to be particularly loyal to any one particular author, maybe Jane Austen excepting, because I feel like I'm much more of like a concept-focused reader. So as opposed to a lot of readers, especially on BookTube, where like they'll find a book that they really love and their instinct is, okay, well now I need to read everything that this author's ever written. I never really get that kind of feeling. I'm often quite doubtful as to whether or not a follow-up book by an author is going to be like my next favourite, because I've often had it where like I will love one book by a particular author and then I read their follow-up and it's just like, nah, not for me. However, saying that, that was certainly not the case when I was much younger. When I was younger, especially like late primary school, early high school, I would definitely go back to favourite authors that I loved and just try and read all of their work. And the two authors who were featured most heavily in my reading were number 1, Roald Dahl, and number 2, Jacqueline Wilson. Yep, these are all of the books that I currently own that are written by Jacqueline Wilson. I actually initially ended up getting rid of a lot of my Jacqueline Wilson books when I was a bit younger, and then I missed them and I wanted them back. And Jacqueline Wilson is basically what this readathon is going to be honouring. So between Saturday the 13th of February and Saturday the 21st of February, so February half term, myself and a bunch of different booktubers are going to be hosting the Jacqueline Wilson-athon, or the Jacqueline Wilsathon. Wilsathon sounds better. I'm doing this along with Leanne from Leanne Rose, Shah at Thoroughly Enjoyed Books, Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, Anna from Read to Me at Midnight, and Karis from Karis's Corner. I really hope I've remembered everybody's names. Shah has also created a really fantastic like little prompt bingo card that you can follow along with. Even if you just read one Jacqueline Wilson books, that does count as you participating in our read along. So there are 9 different prompts in this bingo card and they go as follows. Watch an adaptation, create a doodle inspired by the book, read a book for older readers, eat a snack from your childhood, because we're really trying to focus in on the nostalgia element to rereading Jacqueline Wilson. Reread your favourite book, read a Jacqueline Wilson book that you haven't read before, read a book that is intended for younger readers, read one of Jacqueline Wilson's books in bed or read a bedtime story, read a book which has a cover with your favourite colour on it. And of course you can use multiple prompts to cover one book. During the readathon week we are each going to be uploading a video where we talk about our favourite Jacqueline Wilson book. And for me, I think that book has definitely got to be The Lottie Project. Maybe that's kind of obvious because like it's the Lottie Project, you know, the main character is called Charlotte. Throughout the course of the book she gets more and more engaged in Victorian history, so I feel like a lot of my love of history started with this book. So stay tuned for my little review of that. And there has been a little bit of talk, a bit of chatter about potentially doing a live stream during the week, so I think that'll be really good fun. At the moment I'm not quite sure which books I'm going to be reading aside from the Lottie Project, even though I feel like this readathon will be a really good way of like having a bit of a nostalgia kick and reading some of my old favourites. I'm actually really intrigued by some of Jacqueline Wilson's newer books. I've heard quite a lot of people recently talking about Love Frankie, and I'm quite keen to read that. I've also had my eye recently on the 2 My Mum Tracy Beaker books, because I was a massive fan of Tracy Beaker as a child and I'd love to see like where she ended up. As far as adaptations go, I'm definitely going to be rewatching some episodes of Tracy Beaker. I think potentially if I can find the film adaptations of The Illustrated Mum, I'll definitely be looking into that because I watched that a lot as a kid. But yeah, I'm just really excited to have this opportunity to do a readathon along with a load of booktubers who I love, and also to get the chance to like jump back into Jacqueline Wilson, this author who I loved so much as a child. I definitely think that Jacqueline Wilson's books were really formative for me as a child and kind of like expanding my worldview. For those of you who don't know, the majority of Jacqueline Wilson's books were always very focused outside of like the traditional like nuclear family. She was always really keen on presenting like family life that was outside of that like perfect family with the 2.5 kids and their dog and the white picket fence. A lot of the children that she wrote about did not fit that narrative. You know, kids living in poverty, kids who grow up in care in the foster care system. She discussed topics like divorce, bullying, class differences, mental health issues, which was great for me because I was really fortunate. I was like a very sheltered child, but it was really good for me to see that my experience is not everybody's experience. And I feel like these books really helped for me in kind of like building a more like understanding, more considerate view of other people. But I also feel like her books were probably some of the first like representation for those kids who do not grow up in that, you know, aspirational nuclear family. You know, previous generations of children rarely saw any deviation from that traditional norm. film. And I really feel like Jacqueline Wilson's books have done like a lot to shape my generation. As with most media from like the 90s and early 2000s, like it's not perfect representation by any means, but I feel like these books were a really good stepping stone. So that's really what this readathon is honouring. And also, you know, seeing if I still like these books, if they still hold up for me. I'm really excited to be getting involved in this. And yes, maybe it is a little bit silly of me to be getting involved in a readathon when I'm already reading Les Mis, but you know, just for 1 week, it's fine, it's fine. Do let me know if you are going to be participating, if you are going to be planning on reading any Jacqueline Wilson in that week in February. Alternatively, let me know what your favourite Jacqueline Wilson book was growing up. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.